am on my last day of work before my vacation starts. And then I will be changing things up as I go. So, last night I had my interview. I interviewed Pearl Jones, Delaney, and we had a conversation about her world as a medium, a fortune teller, and a witch, and talked a little bit about many of the stories that she had, and some explanations of some understandings of things that she's come across with her connections in the afterlife, including some insights on reincarnation protocols. Right, so there's so it was very cool having a little bit of a sense of the conversation about the difference between the natural order of reincarnation and the world wound, right? Because there's a problem with the abyss, right? There's the abyss is not what you think it is as the great deep, right? There's the great deep with the Gununga Gap, as our ancestors called it, and many other traditions and different ancestors had different names, for that place of creation. And it's not the void or the abyss. Those words are not appropriate for the great chasm of creation. Those words are for the wound of the world. That's very, very different. It's come afterwards, and it operates as a portal. It operates as a portal. And thus, there's the encounters with vampiric entities and things of this nature. And so that's one of the things I enjoyed about having Pearl on, is because I have... Hey, what's up, Kay? Is that I have my particular interests in being able to protect the psychic field, to fight back against, entities in the metaphysical, right? And a great deal of the spiritual warfare is about, humanity anyway, right? Like, your typical kind of dealing with an aggressive spirit is going to come as a projection from somebody who's going through a lot of pain and suffering, right? That's going to be so much of what you see, because that's most of the actual population. And then, of course, there's the dark sorcerers who, although are ignorant, also know the difference, and they're the ones that are really kind of throwing salt on the mother wound. Hey, how's it going? Hey, look at that. Good to see you guys, all you new people that are tuning in. Do I listen to Tool? Yeah, I do. Fear Inoculum was kind of a boring album to me, but it grows on you. Like it was boring at first, I guess, but then also the album was very kind of it was kind of like, okay, here you go, buddy. This is going with the, in about 2 months, this is going to be the world. Right? Because when did that album come out? Like January February of 2020. Within like a month or so, we had been all terrified by invisible microorganisms, and then within a year of that, we were all getting inoculated. So the album's still like like one could almost say like, okay, did they just like say, okay, hey, listen here, you esoteric puppets of the record industry that we have here. It's just like, you can go ahead and do your esoteric thing and have fun playing your drums and all the weird toolness that you are, but we really need you to put out an album like this for this year, okay? Right? Almost the damn same, exactly. That's exactly. It's just like, all right, here's 10,000 Days 2.0, but it's a little bit slower, or something like that. But I mean, no, it's not a bad album. I mean, it's a competently made album. It's got interesting experimentations. There is one song, I think it's Numa or something like that. There is that's like one song that I thought was yeah, I think that's the one. It's got a lot of Danny Carey's drum experimentation going on in it, and I thought it was very interesting. Like that was probably the standout song, because I got to hear like some of that signature Tool drumming, and that was new and interesting. Yeah. So no, Tool. Tool's interesting, like that. Then there's Perfect Circle, and it seems like Maynard is mostly doing Push-A-Fire right now. I am only a little familiar with Push-A-Fire. I see what they're going for with their sound, with their themes, and I'd have to take a deeper dive into it. But I mean, like, for the most part, like, the music that is really fueling me, it's just like, if you want a band that's in the themes of Tool, but is in the style that is more my energy, there's this awesome band that I've played a couple of times on my channel, especially during like live stream read sessions for breaks and things. There's a band named after the Greek goddess of the underworld, Persephone. So there's a band from Andorra, which is a micronation that is, hiding out in the middle of Spain. So the band Persephone has quite a lot of spiritual metaphysical themes in what they're talking about. Their last two albums definitely went harder and darker than their prior albums, and they're really good. And I'm sure that it reflects because both those albums are post 2020 albums, or one was in 2020 or something like that, right? And it's just like they were bands that they decided to make an album that was thematically appropriate, towards the deeper things about what the events of those years were all about. And a lot of people have these dark fates now that are set in motion because of the poison and corruption that is running through their flesh and blood. Persephone, I wouldn't say Persephone sounds like Opeth. That's really not Their songs aren't long enough. They don't have enough interplay between smooth melodic and dark brooding. Like they don't have the same dynamic. To me, Persephone sounds a lot more like they're a little bit more like Star Symmetry to me. And Scar Symmetry, as you know, the former drummer Henrik, I called friend for a long time, and I still consider him a friend, even though we don't talk anymore. But I have that one interview with him from back when I was on Revolution Radio. You can check that out on my playlist with my radio stuff. So the drummer, Scar Symmetry, he was the one that was writing the lyrics for that band, and you know, making it about the conspiracies and the esoteric and the metaphysical, and exposing transhumanism and all these different things. And he was the one guy in the band that was conscious, and he was the lyrical writer. You know, the singers, and nobody else was quite putting the sound of the band together, right? So I expect the next Scar Symmetry album to be thematically a departure, even though it'll stylistically sound very similar. I expect it to be a thematic departure because I know for a fact that Henrik had the sauce on the storytelling there, and so that will carry along with him, or whatever direction he's going to go artistically. You know, and that's always a thing. You know, it's just like there's a lot of bands out there that you know, their metaphysical inclinations, it's often one guy. It's often one guy, and then everybody else is just an artist who's happy, right? Because everything's working. You know, I was that guy in the various bands I was in, and I was in other people's bands. I hardly ever, like, was in my own band, right? I was a part of other people's bands, like Brain Dead from the Bronx. Shout out Brain Dead, Ed Corpse, and Company. The many, many, many motherfuckers that have been through that group. Some of which stay in touch, and some of which, you know, move on to do what they got to do. But it's all good. That's just the scene, man. That is just the scene. So I will be working on putting a few. I'll see if I got some energy in me tonight for Heidegger. We'll see if I got that. And also, I am talking to or reaching out to a handful of people. So I should have collaborations occurring in the future, perhaps. A couple more guest appearances from names that you're going to want to know about if you care about my work, my service unto the higher self, the shared mission. I'll have a lot of other people that have been doing this work, making this name for themselves for quite a while, or some of them brand spanking new with something significantly profound to say. So I'm all extremely excited for all of that. What's up, bossy girl? So I'm gonna let you guys go. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll hear from you soon.